There are places where the land itself seems to breathe, where morning fog spills like a secret from the mouths of ancient forests, where alpine lakes lie still as glass, mirroring not just the sky, but something older, a hush, a memory, a waiting. In Bavaria, the silence speaks. It speaks in the cold blue of glacier-fed waters, in the weatherwood of farmhouses that lean gently with age, in the clang of distant cowbells echoing down a mountain pass. Time doesn't run here, it lingers. The mist thickens in the valleys. A stag steps into the clearing, antlers crowned with morning light. Somewhere far off, the slow rhythm of a church bell folds the hour into the hills. This is not just a place. It's a spell, a pause in the rush of all things. Welcome to Bavaria. Beneath its postcard beauty, Bavaria is a land of stories. Some whispered, some buried, some still unfolding. The timbered villages may look like still-life paintings, but behind their doors are centuries of resilience and resistance. Take the town of Bamberg, hidden deep in the Steigerwald during the rise of tyranny. A quiet librarian named Franz Jägerstätter refused to pledge allegiance to injustice. Alone, he resisted, not with violence, but with unwavering silence. His stand cost him his life, but his name lives on in this region's gentle defiance. Even now, Bavarians speak with a kind of musical certainty. Their dialect warm, full of soft oohs and clipped endings. They'll greet you with Grüß Gott, a phrase that means may God greet you, not religious always, but reverent, as if every encounter were a sacred passing. If you travel here, slow down. The rhythm is not hurried. Watch how the light shifts through the trees in the late afternoon. Accept a second beer, even if you're full, because refusing it might feel like closing a door. Come in autumn, when the air is gold and the harvest festivals bloom with brass bands and heartache, or in winter, when silence wraps around the villages like wool. Bavaria is not loud in its magic. It waits for you to notice, to listen, and once it lets you in, you'll carry its hush with you, a quiet reminder that wonder doesn't need to shout. You are the traveler now. The path narrows and then opens. Suddenly, the lake appears. Eibsee rests beneath the looming shadow of Zugspitze. Its waters clear as breath, green as pine shadow. On still days, the surface mirrors the skies so perfectly. You forget which way is up. Tiny islets drift like thoughts unspoken. Ferns fringe the shore, and the mountain leans in close, listening. Locals say Eibsee changes color with emotion. Blue on bright days, silver in the rain, emerald at dusk when the trout begin to rise. It is a lake that feels watched over, as if the trees keep secrets. During World War II, a hidden munitions factory operated near here, tucked into the woods, invisible to air raids. When peace returned, so did silence. But the land remembers. Today, Eibsee draws hikers, swimmers, dreamers. You'll find benches made for pausing, not for checking phones. You may hear more birdsong than voices. Walk clockwise around the lake. It's the local way. Step gently. Greet the older hikers. And when the mountain reflects in the water beside you, know that for one rare moment, you are walking inside a painting. No rush, no noise, just the water, just the sky, just this. Nuremberg rises in layers. At street level, timber houses, warm pretzels, laughter from cafe tables. But lift your gaze and history presses in. Stone towers, stained glass, walls rebuilt from ashes. The city breathes through centuries. Once a medieval jewel, Nuremberg became a crucible of memory. It was here that emperors once held court, and it was here, too, that propaganda poisoned public squares. Darkness does not erase beauty. It just deepens the shadows around it. In the Palace of Justice, room 600 still holds silence. Not the silence of absence, but of reckoning. Here, war crimes were named. Truth was spoken into rooms heavy with denial. Yet beyond the weight of the past, the city pulses with color. The hop-marked overflows with flowers and spice. Locals gather near the Schönerbrunnen, the beautiful fountain, turning its golden ring for luck. Even here there is joy. And then there are the sausages, small, smoky, grilled over beechwood. Order 3 or 6 or 9. Eat them with your hands. There's no wrong way. In December, the Christkindlesmarkt glows under candlelight. Hand-blown glass ornaments, spiced wine, the scent of cinnamon. It feels like a lullaby you've somehow remembered. Nuremberg is a city that holds both wound and wonder. Travel it slowly. Listen beneath the laughter. The story here is never just one thing. It is many, overlapping, like light through stained glass. Lindau rests on the edge of water, like a dream that refuses to drift away, an island town floating on Lake Constance. Its walls are softened by light. Its rooftops burn orange at sunset. Every cobbled street curves toward the lake as if longing to return. Step through the medieval arch, past a lion and lighthouse. Silent sentinels of the harbor. The air tastes of mist and citrus. And the mass of sailboats tap quietly in the wind. On certain mornings, fog clings close, wrapping Lindau in a kind of forgetting. You walk slowly, uncertain if this is memory or moment, and maybe it's both. In the 1930s, a woman named Kathy Paulus, once Germany's first female professional parachutist, retired to Lindau. She had jumped from balloons thousands of feet high, invented life-saving parachute designs, and yet here by the quiet shore, she chose a slower gravity, a life of walking, sewing, watching clouds drift over water. The lake has that effect. You'll see cyclists glide past you, couples sharing gelato beneath geranium-draped balconies, and always the Alps in the distance, ghostly waiting. If you visit, stay until evening. The old town lights shimmer on the water, and the lake becomes a black mirror, reflecting each flicker of life. Lindau doesn't ask to be marveled at. It simply waits to be noticed, like a thought returning. And when you leave, you'll carry the hush of its shoreline, pressed quietly against your chest. Where three rivers meet, a city rises, not in defiance, but in flow. Passau sits at the confluence of the Danube, the Inn and the Ilz, a trinity of currents that carry silt, song, and centuries. Water surrounds it like a thought still forming. Streets curve in rhythm with the rivers, and the light is always shifting, gold on one side, silver on the other. The Baroque towers lean over the banks, and the cathedral breathes organ notes so vast. They seem to echo across the skin. Once in 1662, the town burned. A fire swept through its narrow lanes and timbered homes. But from ash, it reimagined itself in stone. Stuccoed facade, frescoed ceilings, vaults painted with defiant hope. A phoenix wearing rococo robes. There's a rhythm to life here. Fishermen cast quietly along the Ilz. Artists gather near the glass museum, their reflections mingling with the river's shifting face. Even the students, backpacks slung loose, move like part of the tide. If you come, follow the embankments early in the morning. Mist will rise from the water, and the town will seem to float. Be mindful of the floods. Locals still mark their doors with dates and high water lines. They don't fear the river, they live with it. They know that beauty and risk often flow together. Passau teaches this, that to belong to a place is to let it change you, as rivers change the land they touch. Slowly, softly, completely. Here, the mountains don't just stand. They watch. Garmisch-Partenkirchen lies nestled in their gaze, a twin town where peaks lean close, and clouds dip low enough to touch. In winter, snow gathers like breath held long and slow. The air carries wood smoke and silence. Icicles form chandeliers on rooftops. It is not a place of rush, but of rhythm. The streets still echo the boots of Olympians. In 1936, when the Winter Games came, the town stood proud. Even as shadows deepened across Europe, athletes hurled themselves down slopes, chasing seconds, defying gravity. And the mountains, as always, remain unmoved, ancient watching. Today, it's not the races that endure, but the quiet ones who rise early to hike. Old men with carved walking sticks, young children with cheeks kissed red by wind. The Partnack Gorge carves a wound through stone, where water roars and walls close in. Walk it slowly. Let the spray touch your skin. Let the echo remind you how small you are and how beautiful that can be. Bavarian houses here bloom with painted tales, murals of saints, shepherds, stars. They aren't decoration, they're devotion. Say Grüß Gott when you pass someone on the trail, not out of formality, but respect, as if acknowledging the sacred in another. Come in spring, when meltwater feeds wildflowers, or in fall, when the larches burn gold. But whenever you come, look up often. The mountains remember everything, and if you're quiet long enough, they might remember you, too. Berchtesgaden is carved from silence and stone. Tucked deep in Bavaria's southeastern corner, it feels more whispered than spoken, a village folded beneath peaks sharp as memory. The air is alpine pure, edged with pine and glacier. You wake to bells, to the hush of mist curling through eaves, to the sound of water falling somewhere just out of sight. But beneath this beauty runs a shadow. It was here, high above, that the eagle's nest was built, a perch of power and propaganda. Stone walls, wide views, a place made to impress and intimidate. History hangs heavy in this valley, yet the village below has its own rhythm. Wooden chalets lean companionably against one another. Locals carry on, carving, baking, tending small shops with quiet pride. Time here moves in footsteps, not in headlines. Above it all, the watchman watches. A jagged giant said to be a cursed king turned to stone, his family frozen beside him. Even the mountains here carry myth. If you walk the meadows in summer, you might hear zither music floating from a balcony, or watch a farmer guiding his cows with the gentlest whistle. Say little, notice everything. In Berchtesgaden, past and present braid tightly. There is no forgetting, but there is peace, earned, not given. Let the wind pass through you. Let the mountains say what they will. You are not here to conquer, only to remember, and to walk softly where stories still sleep. The Bavarian Alps stretch like a breath held between earth and sky. Jagged ridges slice through clouds, casting long shadows that pool in valley folds below. The air here tastes sharp and pure, a mix of pine resin and snow that lingers on the tongue. Wildflowers push through rocky soil, bold against a backdrop of stone and ice. Murmuring streams carve ancient paths, whispering stories of glaciers long gone, of kingdoms lost beneath these peaks. There's a quiet grandeur to this place, a stillness that moves slowly, like the glide of an eagle circling high above. Local legend speaks of the Waldgeist, a forest spirit who protects these mountains. It is said he appears only to those who truly listen, to the rustle of leaves, the crack of twigs, the hush between bird calls. Hiking here is an act of reverence. Paths wind past alpine huts where shepherds tend their flocks, their voices carried across meadows fragrant with hay. Seasons change dramatically. Winter cloaks the slopes in thick snow, while summer invites wild bloom and cool breezes. If you wander these trails, mind your steps and your whispers. Respect the land as you an old friend. The Alps don't hurry. They wait, patient, enduring. And if you are still enough, you might glimpse the ghost of a moment where earth and sky become one. Munich unfolds like a symphony, a blend of old and new, of tradition and restless energy. Its streets hum softly beneath a sky that shifts from slate gray to golden afternoon. Cobblestones ripple beneath footsteps, worn smooth by centuries of stories. Ornate facades rise, painted with echoes of emperors and artisans, while the scent of fresh bread drifts from bakeries tucked in narrow alleys. The city pulses around the Marienplatz, a heart beating with bells and crowds, where the glockenspiel dances at noon, bringing to life tales of knights and courtly love. It is a place where history and now intertwine seamlessly. Yet Munich is more than monuments and markets. It is the laughter spilled from beer gardens, the clink of steins raised beneath chestnut trees. It is the quiet moments in English Garden, where willow branches trace patterns on still ponds, and rowers glide beneath skies vast as dreams. But beneath this surface lies a complex soul. Munich was once a stage for hope and heartbreak, where artists gathered and politics clashed. The city survived wars and divisions, always returning to its own rhythm, its own light. Travelers should know the city's pace is deliberate, not rushed but lived. Respect the quiet reverence of churches, The gentle nods of locals greeting each other in Bavarian dialect. Try a Weisswurst before noon, a soft, delicate sausage, best enjoyed with sweet mustard and a freshly baked pretzel. Come in spring when cherry blossoms dust the streets like pale snow, or autumn when the city blooms orange and red, and Oktoberfest fills the air with music and celebration. Munich invites you to listen, to walk its streets with curiosity and heart. You are not just passing through, you are becoming part of its story. And when the evening lights flicker on, casting a soft glow over the rooftops, you might feel the city whisper, "Stay a while, you belong here, too." Marienplatz is the pulse of Munich's soul. At its center, the Neues Rathaus rises, a fairy-tale castle of stone, its spires reaching skyward like stories stretched into air. Each day at noon, the glockenspiel performs its dance. Knights jousting, life unfolding in intricate clockwork. Around the square, voices mingle, tourists speaking in many tongues, locals weaving through with practiced ease. Cafes spill onto the cobblestones, and the scent of fresh coffee blends with the crisp air. Yet, beyond the bustle, Marienplatz holds a quiet rhythm. Pigeons flutter, children's laughter rings, and time slows in the soft light of afternoon. Centuries ago, the square was a marketplace. Farmers selling eggs and cheese, tradesmen bartering with fierce smiles. Now, beneath the modern shops, echoes of the past linger like a soft melody. Notice the statue of Marian Saul, the Golden Virgin Mary, watching over the city, a reminder of faith and protection through storms and peace alike. If you visit, pause beneath the ornate arches and let the sun warm your face. Step into surrounding alleys, where hidden courtyards hold whispered secrets. Say Grüß Gott to the vendor selling pretzels, a small gesture that opens doors. Marienplatz invites you not just to see, but to feel the heartbeat of Munich. You are part of the story now. The Wimbachklamm is a secret carved into stone, a narrow gorge where water roars like ancient drums. Chiseled by centuries of relentless flow, mist rises from the river's spray, softening jagged rocks, and the air smells of wet moss and wild earth. The path winds along the edge, metal bridges anchored into cliffs, each step echoing the pulse of rushing water below. Here, the forest holds its breath. Sunlight filters in shafts, dust motes dancing in the cool hush. Ferns and lichens cling to every crevice, a quiet testament to resilience. Legend whispers of a water spirit, a guardian who protects these sacred waters. Locals say she appears as a flicker, a shimmer on the rocks, only visible to those who come with respect and silence. In winter, the gorge becomes a frozen cathedral, icicles hanging like chandeliers, turning the wild rush into still beauty. When you walk Wimbachklamm, move slowly. Let the sound fill your senses. The crash of white water, the sigh of wind in the trees. Wear sturdy shoes and be mindful of slippery stones. This is a place that demands reverence. And when you reach the end, look back at the path you've traveled, a journey through time and stone. Here, the mountain speaks in water's voice. Listen carefully. You are part of its story now. The Englischer Garten unfolds like a secret whispered across the city, a sprawling green heart within Munich stone and glass, where ancient trees stretch their limbs wide, casting dappled shadows on winding paths. Here, the river meanders lazily, curling around grassy banks where picnickers linger, and the soft murmur of leaves fills the air. In summer, the sound of laughter rises from open-air beer gardens, where locals sip radler beneath chestnut trees, and musicians play melodies that drift like warm breath. The Chinese tower stands like a gentle sentinel, its pagoda roof a playful echo of faraway lands, reminding visitors that even here, the world is beautifully intertwined. Long ago, the park was designed to mimic an English landscape, a place of natural elegance and quiet contemplation. Walk barefoot on the cool grass if you dare, or pause beside the Klein-Hesselower Sea, where rowboats drift and swans glide like slow dreams. Respect the cyclists who share the paths. They move with purpose and grace. If you come in autumn, watch the leaves turn amber and gold, a fleeting blaze before winter's hush. Englischer Garten is a refuge, a place to breathe, to wander, to remember that nature always finds a way into the city's heart. Here the city sighs, and you are invited to rest within its quiet embrace. Bamberg rises like a story told in stone and water, a city cradled by the Regnitz River. Its old town a tapestry of red roofs and narrow alleys, woven with bridges that thread across gentle currents. The cathedral towers above, its spires reaching for the sky, while half-timbered houses lean lovingly over canals. Here, centuries mingle like quiet conversation, and time seems to fold softly into the present. In the heart of Bamberg lies the Old Court, once a seat of power, now a place of calm reflection. Legends tell of the Bamberg Horseman, a medieval statue shrouded in mystery and myth, its gaze both fierce and protective. Bamberg is also a city of beer, home to the Rotchbier, a smoky brew born from peat fires, a taste that lingers like a whispered secret. Walk the cobbled streets with care. Pause at small cafes where the air smells of fresh bread and roasted coffee. Speak softly to the locals. Their dialect is melodic and warm. Visit in early spring when the rivers swell with awe, or autumn when golden leaves scatter like dreams. Bamberg teaches you that beauty is patient. It waits in every worn stone and quiet corner. As dusk falls and lanterns glow, the city holds you gently, a reminder that some stories are best told slowly. You are part of this unfolding tale now. Schloss Neuschwanstein rises in the mist like a dream caught between stone and sky, perched on rugged cliffs above alpine forests. Its turrets and towers reach for clouds, each spire a delicate stroke against a vast blue canvas. The castle was born from the imagination of King Ludwig II, a monarch who sought to live within fairy tales and legends. Yet beneath the whimsy lies a story tinged with solitude and longing, a dreamer isolated by his own vision. Walk the winding path that leads here, through fir trees heavy with scent, past whispering streams and wildflowers that nod in the breeze. Inside, rooms overflow with ornate detail, walls painted with mythic scenes, furnishings carved with careful hands. It's a place where fantasy and reality blur. But beyond the grandeur, know that Neuschwanstein stones carry echoes of loneliness, of a king who vanished before his dream could fully bloom. Visit early morning to catch the castle bathed in soft light, or late afternoon when shadows stretch long and the crowds thin. Respect the silence of the forest around and the fragile beauty of the landscape. Here, fantasy is real enough to touch, and the mountains hold the whispers of dreams. You are now part of the tale, walking where legends breathe. Nymphenburg Palace spreads like a painting, a long, graceful line of pale stone and green copper roofs, framed by gardens that ripple with symmetry and grace. Built as a summer retreat for Bavarian royalty, its halls echo with whispered conversations and distant music. The palace is both grand and intimate, a delicate balance of power and poetry. Walk through its vast galleries, where ceilings bloom with frescoes, and light filters softly through tall windows, casting patterns on marble floors. Outside, the gardens unfold, mausoleums, fountains, and shaded groves, arranged with meticulous care. Each path invites wandering. Each corner hides a quiet secret. In the gardens, statues of nymphs watch over pools, their stone eyes calm and knowing. Once, the palace was home to Ludwig II as a boy, before he sought solitude in Neuschwanstein's fairytale towers. Here, his youth was marked by light and ceremony, a contrast to the king he would become. If you visit, pause at the Amalienburg, a Rococo hunting lodge nestled within the park, where mirrored rooms shimmer like liquid light. Respect the stillness here. The palace does not demand awe. It invites reflection. Nymphenburg teaches that beauty can be both show and shelter, a place to dream and to rest. You walk these halls now, carrying the quiet weight of history beneath your feet. Zugspitze towers like a sentinel, the highest peak in Germany, piercing sky and cloud with jagged grace. The climb begins with a breath, cool alpine air, thin and sharp, the sound of footsteps crunching on rock and ice. From the summit, the world unfolds, a panorama of peaks and valleys, lakes shimmering like shards of glass, and forests that stretch beyond the horizon. Zugspitze has long drawn those who seek both challenge and quiet. In the early 20th century, climbers braved its slopes without the comforts of today, carrying hope and determination as their only gear. The cogwheel train climbs steadily, carving a path through cliffs and snowfields, while cable cars glide like birds between sky and earth. At the peak, a chapel stands small and steadfast, a place of prayer and gratitude amid the vastness. The weather here changes quickly. Sunshine can yield to swirling mists in moments, reminding visitors of nature's fragile balance. If you come, dress in layers, and pause often to listen. The wind tells stories here, of glaciers, of storms, of centuries watched silently. Respect the mountain's power. Take only memories, leave only footprints. When you stand on Zugspitze's edge, you are touching the sky, and the mountain welcomes you, not as a visitor, but as part of its endless story. Olympiapark stretches wide, a legacy of vision and hope carved into Munich's landscape. Built for the 1972 Summer Olympics, it was meant to celebrate unity and peace, a place where athletes from across the world would come together, beneath sweeping canopies of glass and steel. Today, the park breathes with quieter rhythm. Cyclists trace looping paths, children run beneath towering masts, and fountains dance in the sunlight like liquid joy. The iconic Olympic Tower rises above a slender needle-piercing blue sky, offering views that unfold the city's heart and beyond. Yet the park carries the weight of history. The 1972 Games were shadowed by tragedy, a reminder that even places built for hope can be marked by sorrow. Walk the paths slowly. Notice the subtle memorials, quiet spaces where the city remembers and reflects. In spring, the cherry trees bloom here, softening the modern lines with gentle pink petals. Summer invites picnics on the sprawling lawns, and winter dresses the park in sparkling frost. If you visit, respect the calm beneath the soaring structures. Pause at the lake's edge. Watch the water ripple under the vast sky. Olympiapark is a place of contrasts. Light and shadow, celebration and remembrance. And when you walk here, you become part of the ongoing story of hope, resilience, and quiet strength. Oktoberfest bursts like a pulse through Munich's veins. A celebration woven from tradition, laughter, and the scent of spiced beer. Tents bloom like colorful blossoms, filled with music that spills over tables and cobblestones. The air is thick with joy, with the clinking of steins, the hum of accordion melodies, and voices raised in song. Yet beyond the revelry lies history. Oktoberfest began in 1810, a royal wedding that grew into a festival of harvest and heart. Step inside the tents, and you'll find more than beer. You'll find community. Strangers become friends beneath the sturdy wooden roofs, sharing stories, toasts, and platefuls of roasts and pretzels. Dress in dirndls and lederhosen if you dare. The costumes are a language of belonging here, a nod to roots and pride. If you come, pace yourself. The festival is a marathon, not a sprint. Drink water between steins and savor each moment. Notice the quiet corners, too. Parks and streets where locals retreat to breathe. Oktoberfest is not just a party. It's a dance between past and present, between celebration and remembrance. When the sun sets and the lanterns flicker, you'll feel the heartbeat of Bavaria pulsing beneath your feet. You are part of this story now, dancing, laughing, living it fully. Königssee lies cradled by cliffs that rise like silent sentinels. Its waters are impossibly clear, reflecting emerald forests and towering peaks with perfect stillness. The lake feels sacred, untouched by time's hurry. Boat rides here are hushed journeys. Engines cut, and the only sound is the soft echo of an alpine horn, bouncing off stone walls in a song both haunting and pure. St. Bartholomä, a tiny chapel painted red and white, rests on the shore, a beacon of faith amid wild beauty. Legends speak of water nymphs dwelling beneath these depths, guardians of the lake's secrets. Walk softly along the shore, breathe the cool mountain air, and let the stillness settle deep. Königssee asks for silence, for reverence. Here, you become part of the quiet song, a voice woven into the lake's endless mirror. Rothenburg ob der Tauber stands suspended in time. Its medieval walls and narrow streets seem untouched by centuries, as if the town itself has held its breath, waiting. The cobblestones echo with footsteps from long ago, while half-timbered houses lean into each other, their painted beams telling stories of artisans and families. At dusk, lanterns flicker along the walls, casting golden pools of light that soften the sharp angles of towers and turrets. There's a rhythm here, slow and deliberate, as if the town is a living poem. Long ago, Rothenburg was a free imperial city, a place of trade and diplomacy, its fate tied to empire and war. But it's the little things that linger, the silent watchmen who once guarded these streets, the fragrant scent of freshly baked bread wafting from ovens, the quiet joy of a cafe tucked beneath a window box. If you visit, walk the walls at sunset, watch the Tauber River curve beneath you, and listen for the echoes of history in the breeze. Speak softly. Let the town reveal its secrets gently. Rothenburg is a reminder that beauty is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet breath between heartbeats. You are now part of its story, a traveler stepping softly through the pages of time. The eagle's nest perches high, a solitary nest atop the rugged cliffs of the Bavarian Alps, built as a retreat, a gift to a man both adored and reviled. It's a place heavy with contradiction, beauty shadowed by history. The winding road climbs steadily, each turn revealing wider vistas of mountains and valleys, until you reach the thin air where the building stands, its walls touching the sky. From here, the world feels vast and small all at once. The peaks stretch endlessly, wrapped in clouds, and the valley below whispers of lives lived far from this lofty perch. During World War II, the eagle's nest was a site of power, a symbol of ambition and control. Today, it is a place of quiet reflection, where visitors come to understand the layers beneath the stone. Walk carefully on the terrace. Feel the wind wrap around you like a story being told in whispers. Notice the delicate balance between nature and history, between awe and sorrow. If you visit in early morning, you may find the mist weaving through the trees, softening the edges of the past. The eagle's nest reminds us, even the highest places bear the weight of what came before. You stand now on that edge, not to judge, but to remember and to listen. Hohenschwangau Castle rises softly against the forested hills, its ochre walls glowing warm beneath the afternoon sun. This was the childhood home of King Ludwig II, a place where dreams first took root among the turrets and towers. Inside, the rooms hum with stories, painted murals depicting knights and legends, a boy's imagination given form in color and light. The castle overlooks the serene Eibsee, whose still waters catch reflections of sky and stone, long before Neuschwanstein's fairy tale. Hohenschwangau held the quiet rhythms of family life, of laughter echoing down corridors, of evenings by firelight and whispered secrets. Visitors walk the halls with reverence, aware of the fragile beauty of a world both real and imagined. If you come, pause on the terrace to breathe in the air, pine-scented and cool, and listen for the soft echo of a dreamer's footsteps, still wandering these quiet rooms. You are part of the story now, a witness to the past gently held in the present. The Frauenkirche stands tall and silent, its twin onion domes rising like gentle watchful eyes over Munich's skyline. Inside, The air is cool and hushed, heavy with centuries of prayers and whisper hopes. Light filters through stained glass, casting soft colors onto ancient stone, painting stories of faith and resilience. Legend tells of the devil's footprint, a mysterious mark near the entrance, said to be left by the devil himself, tricked by the church's clever architect. The cathedral's vast nave invites quiet reflection, a space where time seems to slow and breath finds room. In the busy city beyond, the Frauenkirche holds stillness, a sanctuary amid the rush. If you visit, walk slowly beneath its arches, feel the weight of history resting gently overhead. Respect the silence. Light a candle if you wish. Here, faith is not just spoken, it is felt deep in the bones of the city. You are now part of this sacred space, a traveler invited to pause and listen. Maria Jern is a whisper nestled among the mountains, a tiny village wrapped in the hush of fir trees and gentle streams, where the air tastes of pine and earth, and time slows to a quiet rhythm. The small Baroque church stands as a beacon of simplicity and grace, its red roof glowing softly against the forest's deep green. Long ago, villagers gathered here not just to pray, but to find comfort in shared silence and song. The narrow paths winding through meadows invite slow wandering, where every step is a conversation with nature. If you come in spring, the hills bloom with wildflowers, a carpet of color beneath endless skies. Respect the stillness here. Speak softly. Let the peace seep into your bones. Maria Jern is not a place of grand gestures. It is a quiet offering, a reminder that sometimes the deepest journeys are the ones taken within. You are part of this gentle story now, a traveler embraced by mountain breath and song. Lake Tegernsee spreads wide and calm beneath a sky that shifts like a soft breath. Its waters mirror the surrounding mountains, a glassy surface that catches every cloud, every flicker of light. The lake has long been a refuge, a place where artists, thinkers, and travelers have come to breathe deeply, to watch seasons dance slowly over the water's edge. In winter, the surface sometimes freezes, turning the lake into a silent sheet of silver. Fishermen glide across on skates, while snow-dusted pines stand as quiet sentinels. Come spring, and the hills around Tegernsee burst into bloom, meadows carpeted with wildflowers, their colors vivid against the soft green of new leaves. The villages at the shore carry stories tucked between their walls, a history of monks who once tended the land, of fishermen who read the rhythms of water and wind. If you walk the promenade, you'll find cafes where the scent of fresh bread mingles with the crisp mountain air. Locals greet one another with gentle nods and warm smiles, their voices soft like the lapping waves. Travelers should know the lake's moods shift quietly, and it rewards those who move with patience and respect. A boat ride here is a slow meditation. The ripple of oars, the call of distant birds, the soft whisper of breeze. In summer, children play along the shore, their laughter a light song carried across the water. At dusk, when the sky spills rose and amber, the lake holds its breath, and the mountains wear their shadows like a cloak. Lake Tegernsee invites you to slow down, to become part of its unfolding story, to listen, to watch, and to be still. You are here now, and the lake welcomes you home. Forggensee stretches wide, a mirror reflecting the peaks that cradle it, the Bavarian Alps standing guard like silent giants. This lake, born of glaciers and rivers long ago, holds a quiet power in its still waters, inviting travelers to pause and listen. In the village of Schwangau nearby, history and legend entwine. Here lived the family of King Ludwig II, whose dreams shaped the castles that rise above the valley. The land carries whispers of knights and kings, of forests where stories linger in the mist, and of lakeside paths that lead to quiet contemplation. Visit in early morning when fog dances over Forggensee, softening edges and blurring the line between earth and sky. Walk the shores with care. Feel the cool breeze carrying scents of pine and fresh water. Schwangau itself is a gentle village, its streets lined with quaint houses, flower boxes spilling color, and the hum of everyday life moving softly through the air. If you come, savor the calm. Watch as swans glide gracefully across the lake's surface, and allow the landscape's quiet majesty to settle deep. Forggensee and Schwangau ask only for respect, a willingness to see the beauty in stillness. You are part of the serene story now, a traveler embraced by water, mountain, and memory. Tübingen is a town woven from history and quiet charm, nestled on the Neckar River's curve. Its pastel-colored houses lean toward cobblestone streets, their reflections rippling softly in the water below. Here, the old university hums with youthful energy, while centuries of scholars and poets linger in the air. The market square pulses gently with life. Vendors call out, bicycles weave through narrow lanes, and cafes spill laughter and the scent of fresh coffee into the breeze. A hidden world unfolds in the Hölderliner, once home to the poet Friedrich Hölderlin, whose words echo softly through Tübingen's gardens and libraries. The town's rhythm invites slow wandering, past half-timbered houses, across ancient bridges, and beneath the watchful gaze of St. George's Church. In autumn, the riverbanks blaze with gold, and the air carries a crispness that sharpens the senses. If you visit, greet locals with a quiet Grüß Gott, and take time to savor a slice of Swabian cake in a cozy cafe. Tübingen teaches that knowledge and beauty often live side by side, that every street holds a story waiting to be heard. You are part of this living tapestry now, a traveler walking gently through layers of time. Schliersee rests quietly beneath towering pines and rolling hills. Its waters shimmer with soft light, mirroring clouds that drift lazily above. This small Bavarian town carries the gentle rhythm of lake life, fishing boats bobbing, children's laughter echoing across the shore. Artists and musicians have long been drawn here, finding inspiration in the play of light on water and the quiet hum of nature's song. Walk along the lakeside promenade, breathe in the scent of spruce and fresh earth, and let the stillness settle into your bones. Visit in summer when wildflowers bloom along the paths, or winter when snow blankets the town in soft white silence. If you come, move slowly. Listen to the whispers carried by the breeze. Schliersee is a place to remember the beauty of simplicity, a gentle pause in a hurried world. You are now part of this quiet story, a traveler embraced by lake and forest alike. Starnberg Lake stretches wide beneath endless sky, its surface a shimmering canvas of blue and silver. Surrounded by rolling hills and quaint villages, the lake invites a slow surrender to calm. Sailboats glide silently, their white sails bright against the water, while fishermen cast lines in patient hope. History lingers here too. King Ludwig II once walked these shores, dreaming beneath the whispering trees. The air carries a faint scent of pine and fresh water, mixed with the gentle murmur of breezes across the waves. If you visit, stroll the lakeside paths at dawn, when mist hovers like a secret and the world feels new. Respect the quietude, the slow dance of light and shadow. Starnberg is a place to breathe, to listen deeply. You are part of its serene song now, a traveler held gently between earth and sky. Dinkelsbühl stands wrapped in golden light, its medieval walls embracing stories whispered through centuries. Narrow streets wind beneath timbered houses, each step a step back in time. The market square pulses softly with life, its quiet charm a gentle rhythm of daily rituals. Here, history breathes not in grand gestures, but in the laughter of children, the aroma of fresh bread, and the patience of stone watching over all. Walk slowly, speak softly. Dinkelsbühl invites you to linger, to become part of its timeless tale. You're a traveler now, held tenderly in the arms of history. Our journey through Bavaria now draws to a close, but the stories linger like echoes carried on mountain winds. We have walked through ancient towns and whispered forests, felt the breath of lakes and the weight of history's stone. Each place holds a secret, a memory waiting to be heard, a moment where past and present meet in quiet grace. As you carry these stories with you, remember, you are not just a traveler passing through, but a keeper of the places you visit, a witness to their beauty, their mystery, and their soul. The journey continues. Always, you are the traveler now,